Welcome back up to the Joe Osborne Show. I'm your host, Joe Osborne, here today. The MLB draft has finally started to happen, and we now officially know who is going first overall here. I know last couple of days we've had a lot of, we've heard a lot of things. A whole different places the Pirates could have gone, and now we finally know where they went. So of course, you've been living under a rock here pretty much the last week or so. A lot of anxiety over this pick here. A lot of names mentioned. Of course, there was the big three here. That was obviously Dylan Cruz, Paul Skenes, and Wyatt Langford. And then also later in the week, there was rumors about Max Clark, a high school pup bat, who's also an outfielder, in the mix here. So a lot of different stuff. I saw a lot of different conflicting things. I had mobile information telling me there was going to be Cruz. I heard things Langford. I heard things Skeen. So there was all sorts of these different reports, but we find out it's official. But Paul Skenes is the first overall pick and a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I'll be honest, at first I really wanted to hit her, but the more I look at, I really liked the picks. I thought as long as you get one of these big three guys that I just mentioned earlier, you're going to have a very good team and you're going to have a franchise player for years to come. And Paul Skenes is that. He is a pitching prospect that we have not seen the likes of in a decent while, honestly. The last one I think of who really was this hyped up was probably Steven Strasburg, I think. Honestly, I don't even think Cole was hyped up as much as this guy has been getting, especially recently with the College World Series. He pretty much shut down his opponents that whole series. He came out dominant against some really good teams. He dominated an insanely good Wake Forest team. He dominated an insanely good Florida team. And he is one of the main reasons why LSU, of course, won the national championship. Of course, there's other players on that team that helped out big time, including Dylan Cruz, who was a guy, honestly, I was kind of hoping for more. But this is, honestly, making this pick here for the Pirates, this is an A+. They have, honestly, a generational talent they just drafted. And I think this is going to be a perfect fit. And this guy, he is going to be something special. And honestly, just the talent he's at, there was a definite chance. I don't think it's a very high chance, but you could potentially see him in the MLB by the end of this year. Do I think that's happening? No, I don't. That seems a little rushed. But this guy, honestly, may be at the level where he can already be pitching in the MLB. He seems very advanced for where he's at. For a college player, he is way advanced than what you would expect. He is probably one of the most refined, if not the most refined prospect in this draft. Now, do I think he's the number one guy in this whole draft? Time will tell. Obviously, I had the three big ranked here. I had Cruz, Skenes, and then Langford. Those are the big three. Honestly, I kind of preferred Langford over Cruz. I thought there was more potential with Langford. So I kind of ranked it Langford, Cruz, Skenes, when it comes to the Pirates, what they're going to pick here. But yeah, they went Skenes. And yeah, I think it's a good pick. So let's get into some of the stuff here that we have with Skenes, because there's a lot of great stuff I want to talk about here. Because this guy, he has a lot of great potential. I think if you guys have watched LSU and the way they have played, this man was a big factor as to them, getting really did. And this guy, he can just flat out pitch. But this year, I'm going to look, obviously, we're just going to look at the LSU stats right now, because that's the one from this year, so that's the most recent of his stats. But yeah, he had a 1.69 ERA. That's earned runs average. Win-loss, which really doesn't matter that much, but he won 12-2, so he won a lot of great games. But what really strikes you here is the strikeouts. This year, he broke the SEC record for strikeouts, and we all know the SEC is the toughest division in, of course, college sports, in any sport, honestly. Specifically football, that's the big one, but they're getting all of them. He had 209 strikeouts. That is the single season record in the SEC. That is impressive to say the least. You rarely see someone do that. Of course, this is junior year. But even honestly, past this here, what I would say is this, even looking at his other years, like in 2022, because he played at Air Force last year, then transferred to LSU for this season. He was still a very solid pitcher. He had a 2.73 ERA, which is still a very good one. Um, didn't have as many innings pitched, but he has still 96 strikeouts. Like, he was a really good looking prospect at the time, probably a mid first round pick, maybe, I would say. But he really showed up this year, and I think he did a lot of great work this year on improving himself, and that's why he transferred to LSU, and he has definitely reaped the benefits of that so far, and he just, in my mind here, when watching his tape, it's impressive. His fastball, which is the one thing I'm really impressed by, it seems like it averages around 99 to 100. That is something you rarely see in a player. Like, that is tough to find. That's not the kind of thing you find that often. Like, this is something you don't see very often. Like, this guy, honestly, he looks like the kind of pitching prospect you don't see in decades at sometimes. Like, they can be decades apart sometimes. And this guy does look like it. There's been a lot of comparisons that I've seen, a lot of experts going out saying a lot like Randy Johnson, a lot like Nolan Ryan was no one too. It's Nolan Ryan was a little like, I don't know. That's an older one, but honestly, they are fair. I would say I do think there's a lot of similarities between these guys. They're fair assessments in my mind. Now I'm gonna hype him up and say he's the next Randy Johnson. I think no, not yet. He's got to obviously pitch in the MLB first and get to the MLB to see what happens, but the potential is there. This is, if everything pans out for him the way that hopefully it should, and for the Pirates, you're going to get probably the best pitcher in the NL for years to come. Of course, obviously, that, they're still going to have to sign him and stuff like that, but this is a guy who is going to change the franchise. I think this pick is the turning point for the Pirates franchise. It really is. Because you do not get these guys this often. There's a lot of concern that they wouldn't draft one of these game-changing guys. They did, and honestly, someone who may actually be the most game-changing one out there. Out of the three, he may be the one that impacts the most. Obviously, time, of course, will tell, but on the surface here, from what I've seen, this is going to be a spectacular pick here, and I'm going to talk a little more about some of his other pitches. He has a great slider. He gets a lot of strikeouts to the slider. It's very impressive, and he can change it to different speeds. I know he can throw it at 89, 88, 87, 86, and he changes it for different battles. It's very interesting if you watch that. You notice like he changes certain pitches for different battles, like just the way he throws them. Like he has different versions of the same pitch that he uses, and that is another thing that you rarely see. So it's very tough to hit against him. And if you watch some of the games of LSU play, like it is tough. Like this is a guy that you're not getting much off of. Like you're probably getting 1 to 2 runs if you're lucky off the guy. Like rarely are you getting more than probably 1 or 2 runs off the guy in college. Now, how that translates to MLB, obviously, probably won't translate like that exactly, but definitely it's there. He has the skill, and I think he can achieve that skill. And honestly, I'm gonna say this here. I really liked the pick for the Pirates. I was really wanting Hiddle coming into this, but the more I look at it, like I always liked Skenes, and I thought as long as they drafted Langford, Cruz, or Skenes, the Pirates succeeded massively. The more I look at it, honestly, Skenes probably is the best player on this draft. It's a tough draft to evaluate who's the best one, just because, like, it's not like it's, anyone can go first. It's not a consensus first overall pick. The problem is this year, if it was any other year, either 3 of these guys would be the consensus first overall pick. Like, you have 3 of them in 1 year here, and that's when it makes it really tough, because they're all game-changing generational talents. You always got to figure out which one's going to be the best. But, when you get those, what you get there, you got to think, which one do I think fits the best for an organization? Pirates, of course, picked Skeen, and honestly, as much as I think they needed outfield help, this is probably a better pick for them, and I think overall, this is the pick that, it's going to hold up very well, I think. Honestly, they picked the best player available. That is what they did. A lot of people thought they may do the saving money and stuff. They did not. They picked the best player available, which is what you should be doing at number 1 overall pick. And the thing is, that they did that, honestly, 2022. 2020. Not 2022. I'm just like saying also. Actually, it's 2021. My bad. But the Henry Davis one, first overall pick as well. Even though he was underslot, honestly, if you look back now, it's just the way it's done. Marcelo Mayo does look like he'll be really good, but he also had O'Neal Cruz, and we want to what he was gonna be, but if he would have drafted Marcelo Mayo, he would not be at shortstop by now because of Cruz for sure, honestly. But Davis looks like he probably was the best pick in that draft, even though he was underslotted. He looks like he is the one that's probably going to succeed the most out of that draft. Honestly, the way the Pirates are picked, the way it seems to be playing out as right now, from Charrington's first one in 2020 to now. Also, we can't evaluate this year's, and we can't evaluate last year's just because we haven't seen much, but what we've seen from last year's Tamar Johnson looks great. I love what I'm seeing now, and I think we got a special player there as well. But we can evaluate 2020 and 2021 as both have now finally made the MLB. And honestly, both of them have succeeded more than the guys who were picked ahead of them. Like 2020, don't even get me started on that draft because it's just there's so many great players who are supposed to be so good that they've all turned disaster. Like Spencer Torkelson, supposed to be a face of the franchise player for the Tigers. Yeah, he has not been that whatsoever. And Austin Martin, yeah, he was supposed to be really good. Has not done anything. Oh, it's not even in the big leagues yet. I don't think he's made his debut yet. Maybe he has, but he is stuck in the Twins, so you never know if the Twins, because we'll talk about the Twins because they're not that good. But yeah, but like Nick Gonzalez, he actually is succeeding at this last far. Now, obviously, it's a small sample size, so you can't judge off that. But Charrington, honestly, right now, he's got a good track record with the draft picks that he's got called up so far. Like Podolsky in 2020, just got called up. He has succeeded very well for the Pirates. Like, these draft picks are definitely panning out, and none of them have been to the caliber that Paul Skenes is. And if they've all turned out like the way we all were hoping they would, and or even better than we thought, wait till you see what happens with Skenes, because I think there was something special here. I love this pick. I think this is a great pick for the Pirates. And this is, I think, a day in Pirates history that's going to be one that's well beloved by the fans, and I think this is a great pick, great move. And if you are a pitch player in the NL Central, probably by next year's time, you are, whenever it comes to having to play against Paul Skenes, the game plan is pray to God we can actually hit something off this guy. I really do think that this guy is going to be a spectacular player, and I think this is probably the best pick for both the Pirates and obviously, this is a great thing for baseball as well, because this guy is going to be some really special. But thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for more videos. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.